Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this week's options watch list. Before I get into the watch list, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, look, there's not much to really go over, not much of a watch list because all the big earners are this week. I mean, pre-market, we got McDonald's on Monday. After hours, nothing's big. Tuesday, after hours, we've got AMD, Microsoft, Starbucks, EA. Wednesday, pre-market, we got Boeing. Wednesday after close, we got Meta. And let's see, Thursday's the big one. We got Apple, Amazon, Intel, Roku. So yeah, all the big people are reporting this week, so it's not even worth even looking at. So I'm not going to cover that much for this watch list, but I do want to point out a couple things. One is that the put to call ratio is not extremely high, but it's fairly high right now. So that's something to keep an eye on. It's at 0.73 right now, and usually I like to see it over 1. That's where it's really extreme, but it's the highest it's been since June, mid-June. So something definitely to keep an eye on. Now the economic calendar for the week. Oh, I said social, but Monday, nothing. Tuesday, let's see. Tuesday we got JOLTS job openings and consumer confidence. Isn't JOLT job openings on Wednesdays? Don't they usually have those on Wednesdays? I thought they were on Wednesdays. I don't know, but it's on Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Wednesday, pending home sales, Chicago PMI, and we have FOMC with Powell at 2:30. So this is going to be a big one. Let's see if they decide to drop the rates. I don't think they will. Canada did. I don't think that the U.S. will. I think if anything, they'll either keep it. I'd say there's probably a high probability they're going to keep it. Obviously, they're not going to hike it. I mean, they could. That would probably freak the market out, but I don't think they're going to. If anything, they're going to hold it. If they cut the interest rate, I'll be very, very surprised. I think they're going to hold it till September, right before the elections. But yeah, Powell at 2:30, and let's see, Thursday, unemployment claims at 8:30, PMI at 9:45 and 10 o'clock, and Friday we get unemployment rate. So a little bit. Wednesday is going to be the big day. Tuesday and Wednesday. So with that said, we'll put the call ratio being high. Well, not really high, but high-ish. Makes me believe that we may pop and fill the gap up to 555. Maybe even fill the gap up here 562 to 565. My feeling is if we have a squeeze the next couple of days, I mean, if it gets over 547, we're going to fill the gap up to 555. And when the market getting some momentum, we could end up being up to all-time highs again. I mean, we're not that far, depending on how far we gap up now. Tonight or futures, and tomorrow morning. We could be at all-time high in 2 days. So I mean, I'm not saying we're going to go back to all-time high. I'm thinking that we do cool off the puts and we fill the gap maybe tomorrow or Tuesday. And if VIX, kind of getting ahead of myself, it's going to determine on VIX a lot. So we'll just keep going as SPY. So we'll see if they fill the gap. If we have an up day Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday could be a red day, or we could have a start green on Wednesday and FOMC sink it, or FOMC could just send it. It will all depend on what VIX is doing. So VIX, I like looking at the VIX, especially when it's low. Right now it's really not that low. VIX has got a lot of room to drop. Now VIX was near the low 12s. Going to FOMC, I would say we're going to dump, but we're up, it's above 16 right now. I mean, we could run and we could rage into FOMC and keep going, depending on what VIX is on Wednesday. That's why you need to be in the room. Wherever VIX is on Wednesday is going to determine what's going to happen. If for some reason VIX gets crushed Monday and Tuesday and we're down into mid 12s, low 12s, then I think that we're going to dump on FOMC. But if we're still elevated, like above 14, I think that we're going to push to probably all-time high, and we're probably going to end up, VIX probably end up getting crushed back down to 12 or something. And then if that ends up happening, maybe the earnings miss on Thursday with Amazon and Apple will send the market freaking out. So we get a lot of variables this week. We got fairly high put-to-call ratio. We got FOMC Wednesday, and we got big earnings Wednesday after hours and Thursday after hours. So we could see a lot of volatility, whipsaw action where we could just rage tomorrow and Tuesday and maybe dump on FOMC, or if VIX is still elevated, dump down to the 12, and VIX gets down to 12, maybe Microsoft misses or Amazon, Apple misses, and that freaks the market out when the market dumps and VIX pops. So it's going to be more or less on timing where VIX is going to be on certain days. So the key point I'm making and stressing is where VIX is going to be Wednesday morning. If VIX is low, then my outlook's going to change on a drop. If it's still elevated above 14 or so, I think that we're going to probably end up raging on FOMC and probably going to all-time high or making new all-time high. So definitely keep an eye on that. You need to be in the room because it's all, like I keep saying and rehashing, it's all going to depend on where VIX is going to be on Wednesday morning. Now, the only one that's not reporting this week is Tesla. They've already reported. They dropped down. Stochastics is down at the bottom on the daily, so a couple of things to look at. It gets below 216. I'd watch for a push down to the Philly gap right here. I think it came close, but could push down. Well, we get underneath 216. We could make a run down to the 205, 200 area. But also, I'd keep an eye on if it gets over 225, we could have a strong push and close that gap up to the 240 area. So Tesla, flip a coin. I mean, daily looks like it could like turn around and bounce, and the weekly looks like it's got more room to drop. So it's really 50-50 right here. But if you stick with the 216 and 225 area, you should be okay as long as you get it over 225. Or short it underneath 216, you'll probably get a decent play out of Tesla. But anything in between, it's really not even worth looking at. So that's going to do for the watch list. Nothing to look at. All the big guys are reporting this week, so it's not worth it. FOMC is coming, so we'll just take it from there and see what happens. And I hope to see you in the room if you're not already in there.